time has come. It is time to draw the sword and go to war. Hello there everyone, and welcome to Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai with the Total Fall of the Samurai mod. Last time around we had a build up to this battle. This time we're gonna go ahead and conduct it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start this. First of all, I'm gonna go ahead and declare war on the Sasayamas. I actually I had to actually load the save because I did one extra turn. It turns out if I do a turn, then the Sasayamas is actually gonna attack me, and the way they're gonna do that is they're gonna move around and then surround my forces, and well, I'm not gonna be able to fight the battle on my terms. So without further ado, let's go ahead and declare war on them. Preemptive strike. I'm not gonna call my allies in because I know that probably Nabashima, which is a small shit nation back in my rear, is not gonna join me, and Tokushima is on the island, and I'll doubt they send any aid. We're already at war with the Fukuyamas and the Wakayama. I'm not entirely sure, and the whatever. Very small clan. I think this one is the one beyond, so the one that actually holds Kyoto. So I might as well declare war on them right now. So let's see who joins. No one joins. I ask no one to join me, but the Sasayamas, all their allies, fall. They do not dare disturb the might of the British Empire. John Allcock. He's all man. He's all cock. He's almost, or is a good bit on his way to getting his last star, which will be very nice. He's got a lot of books, and hopefully get his third book to, I don't know. Hopefully it's a good book. Right. Without further ado, let's go ahead and attack. Hopefully they won't actually retreat. Oh, I chose the wrong character. I was supposed to choose Allcock, not this one. This one is just a gardener. Jesus Christ. If you're gonna attack someone, you're gonna put your cock first. It's simple battle technology, or tactics. Pretty good army though, so we'll have no problem. God damn it. The problem is that Allcock had all the new units. I wished to put them up to the test on the front line. Same with his son, which also is he's all man, he's all cock, with his all Highlander infantry unit. And then I put this guy. Fuck. Right. But, yeah, you know what? Let's go for it. And here is where we're going to fight. It's not very good ground. There's a lot of ridges in trees where they can hide their melee units, as they probably intend to charge us straight on. But my plan is to move the line infantry up to this ridge right here, and then from here we're gonna have a line going back, protecting the howitzers. I put the cannons up here. Rifles over here, cavalry over here, general over here, and boom, let's go ahead and start. So I want to go along the ridge here. You're gonna have quite thick formation, quite unusual for me to draw such thick lines, but you know I like that thickness. What it's really about is I'm expecting the enemy to charge in melee style, and if they go ahead and do that, I want to have some extra thickness to combat the enemy. So we've got lots of troops coming in. First of all, we're gonna send some of the cavalry forward, and then Queen's Lancers. So we're gonna have very many lancers here on the right side. Gonna have to move quickly here. And then let's see, what else are we gonna send? Generals, Allcock here, and then Charles is gonna be here, which I think most of my forward movements will be happening over on this side, given the fact that the reinforcements has turned up on this side. I'm gonna pick up the British Guards which I think I've selected all. Yes. So the British Guard will move up. Followed by the Royal Highlanders. And then we have the King's Own. Only 3 of them though, so not everyone of the King's Own has come onto the field. We're gonna have the King's Own turn onto this side. And that should be most of the reinforcement units. We have 2 normal Highlander units as well. These Highlander units will come and they will support in the back of the hill here. Let's see, so the cavalry. We've got the Hussars. It's a new unit, we haven't seen that one before, or at least on the campaign. Dragoons, we've seen those guys. And then quickly take a look here, we've got the Guard. And then the Royal Highlanders. The, what were these ones? King's Own. And then let's go over, all the way over here where the cavalry has arrived. Where we now got the Queen's Lances. Nice Ulan hat and so. So we got lots of, lots of, not Ulans, but lots of spear cavalry on the side. If you want to put it that way. Loose formation. Let's see, we've got enemy cavalry coming in, which are gonna get absolutely destroyed since they move in way too early compared with the rest of the lines. And yeah, the rifles make short work of them. I don't think they were able to contact the line up here. They do a lot better moving in through the forest, but moving uphill like this is not going well for them, especially at this kind of speed. Looks like they will be able to come at the line though. Ah, he tried his best, but no. And they were able to actually get into a fight with these guys over here. Let's go ahead and see what's going on. It's just a cavalry at this point. They've sent them in way too early, but what this has shown me is I think I need to move the line infantry a bit forwards. I don't think the angle was very good for them. So they need to be moved just slightly bit forwards. And then what I can do is I can extend the line a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these, or we're going to take this guy, and we're going to extend him onto the flank here a bit, since the enemy is going to basically march into the side. And then we're going to have these guys. Well, now there's enemies coming in, but we're going to see about extending the line and moving it just a smidge forward. And hopefully that will improve our fire capabilities here downrange. Also, we're going to make good use of the gun battery ability, which we will need to utilize all across the line. Once most of the enemy, they seem to be mostly now gravitating towards this edge right here, which I can really imagine that, well, that's a pretty good strategy given that it's kind of a way for them to break through, or try to break through. Since we have now the British Guards ready, we're gonna send them forwards into the forest, and the Royal Highlanders will extend even further with the cavalry being situated in the forest behind them. So let's go ahead and take a look what's going on. No Duchy samurai have reached the front lines, but since I have increased the formation to be 3, almost 4 men deep, they're not able to break through them as they've done in previous battles. However, what we need to do really is, as we can see, they're moving in a way in which they're concentrating their force over here. What we want to do is move these guys forward to aid in this fight. And get the rifles in there. And then I want to move in the lancers to attack from behind. And the general will advance with the units. So really heavy fighting over here. But so far, oh no, this is not the Queen Zone, this is just colonial line infantry. I made a mistake there. They're holding on though. Very well, I'd say, at this point. But clearly, support is needed. Ooh, look at this. The enemy has now contacted with the Royals, the Royal Scots, and the Guard infantry. So let's see if they're not just fancy smancy hats guarding the Queen's Palace. I'm gonna move. We're gonna have to move the cavalry now around to see about coming around, striking these guys in the back. Same from this side. I want the rifles actually in the forest looking this way to harass anyone that moves forward. The lancers gonna move in, strike from the back over here. And oh, our cavalry got snagged onto the enemy units over here. We've got someone, a British Guard unit is... The British Guard units were caught by the enemy melee unit, so the lancers will actually bypass these guys and go directly to aid the British line infantry. This unit right over here, even though they're brave, they're down to 42 men they're holding. I really need them to fall back. I'm going to try to cover that with line infantry. We got another unit as well, kind of need to move back. I've got no reinforcements to pull in, but I've got Gardner that can come in and he can support. And now we'll have the Lancers charge in. We're going to follow this unit of Queen's Lancers, as it's going to try to bypass most of these units, go through and hit over here where it's very badly needed. Just smash through those guys, do not stop, continue through, and I'm ordering you to charge the enemy general over there. I really don't want to lose any of the guard units, as I can't replace them, or I mean I recruited them all the way back in what's it called, Shimatsu lands, so getting replacements for them will take a whole lot of effort. So I think these are the reinforcements that are trickling in. So the Scots Guards need to be reinforced in a way. Okay, let's send the cavalry forwards. See. Tell them to hold fire as well. Gardner has turned up. He's lost quite a lot of men. He's still alive though, which is good. Let's tally what's happened to the British Guard units. Ooh, the British Guard units, they're still there, the 4 units. Or are there 5 of them? Yeah, no, the 4 units. But they're heavily depleted. And the Scots really need aid, while the cavalry is smashing into enemies over here. The rifles, I was about to say they're doing good work here, but they're just shooting at retreating men. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move them to this hill, and what we need to do now is move all of these men forward. First and foremost, I'm gonna move forward the King Zone, have them in between there, and then we're gonna see we've got the Highlanders and the British Colonial Infantry. We've got 2 units that are quite depleted, so let's just bring up the ones that aren't so depleted. And then along this line, there's a few units quite depleted, but these are just the normal line infantry, so they're a bit easier to replace. So we're going to send them forwards. The Scots Guard, I'm gonna pull them back a bit, and we're gonna redraw the line over here. We're gonna get Gardner to be back here. I'm gonna get Charles to be over there, and then we're gonna get Charles's son to be over there. And we got all this mess of cavalry, which, oh shit, there's actually tons of enemies coming in here. I want the cavalry to draw up in line and prepare to charge these guys as they come out of the side here, because I need to buy time for my infantry to set up. So the Hussars forward, Queen's Lancers forward, Queen's Lancers, British Dragoons, and British Dragoons and Lancers. So here we got the Hussars and some of the Queen's Lancers charging into recruits, and the Shura's Dragon Infantry. Heavy losses on my cavalry since I charged straight into enemy gunfire, but as we can see here, my cavalry is being able to smash through these units, and it's going to give us enough time to have my line infantry to come into position, as we can see right here. And with that, the cavalry will redraw. They will retire for now. There's some of them that are quite depleted. 30, 22, we'll send them back to be back with the guards. What do we have left back here? We've got 2 artillery units. Seems that one of them has lost a cannon. I cannot see a broken cannon now. It says only 3 for this one. So where did they how did they lose one of their cannons all of a sudden? I don't think we're gonna need to move any cannons forwards. Let's see, the King's Own need to gain ground. They need to take a bigger responsibility in the battle since they haven't really fought as of yet. The rifles are being able to fire above the head of the rest of the army. Cavalry is the few cavalry units. Let's see. The kind of numerous cavalry is going to be put on the flank. We've got the Scots Guard over here. Bloodied, but they're holding. And Queen's Lancers passing by. We've got a very thin line of line infantry, but they're holding on. And here we got the Colonial Line Infantry. They're also holding. Rifles doing God's work up here on the hill. And then the King's Own doing very well against the enemy. And we're going to inspire them. Use the Gumbat ability. I'm going to inspire the center unit, and I'm going to order them to fire suppressive fire. Suppressive fire puts more bullets down range, but it is less accurate. Mass casualties on the enemy is expected. We've got enemies pulling back. It's hard to see them continuing the battle at this point, but they are actually doing that, just that. We're gonna pull a little bit closer. I don't want to get too close to the forest though, since there's still, there's still units hiding inside of the forest. We're gonna get the Highlanders to move forwards a bit there. The line infantry is gonna come in between there. We're gonna have this come to over here. Colonial Line Infantry is gonna advance a bit. We've got some Highlander units on the edge here. We're gonna move them forward. King's Own gonna move forward. General's gonna follow. Alcock over there. We got Gardner over there. So very nice. We saw a unit just come out of hiding here at the forest, but is being utterly destroyed. At the same time, we can see a mass amount of troops just trying to leave the field at this point, and we want to kill off as many of them as possible. It's time to send in the cavalry. See about wiping out as many of these as possible here. Let's see, we're there, Gambate. Let's use it for all our generals. I'm gonna tell the cannons to hold fire. It's now gonna be down to the cavalry and possibly a bit of the generals to shoot the enemy down. We're gonna enable these guys to fire. It's only actually the British Dragoons. The Lancers do not have any bullets. Gonna tell this one to attack over there, while the three others continue and try to get as many of these as possible. But most of them are slipping away. Charge in and try to destroy as many of these units as possible. But there's a mass amount of troops still leaving. So I'm not entirely sure how many we can expect to have killed here. But I'm hoping that we at least got 10,000. 10,000 enemies would be a nice round number to have been inflicted that kind of casualty on the enemy. Unusually long battle, as it lasted for almost 20 minutes at this point. Let's see, the last enemy to leave the field. Oh, he's so close, just gone through there, and it would have been safe. But there we have it, we fought over a massive amount of area. Unusual for such a battle. Close victory though. I guess we suffered more casualties than I thought. On to the campaign map to see how this will affect our strategy going forward. Hopefully I didn't lose a single unit. Forward to victory, my boys! The results of the battle. So we can see that the enemy deployed almost 16,000 men. However, we were able to slay 11,000 of them. 11,500 of them. We deployed 8,000 roughly, and we lost about 2,000 men, leaving 6,000 men left in our army compared with 4,000 in the enemy army. So I'd say that it's a pretty good result. Heavy casualties, however, on the British Guard units, as they were kind of ambushed. The thing with when you got so many units in a battle is that it's quite easy to forget to move everyone correctly or micromanage all of them. Hopefully I managed to get enough close-up views, because it was a pretty cool battle. But when you've got so much going on at the same time, it's hard to go in for those really close-up views. But we got a few of them. I want, however, to see what is the maximum amount of kills here. British Colonial Lancers, both of these units killed about... Oh, Colonial Infantry and Colonial Lancers killed about 600. Where will the rifles end up? Rifle Brigade. Here's a Rifle Brigade. The only one that was in the field. Only about, well, 273 men. I thought they would have done a lot more. But I guess because they were on the very right end and most of the battle took part in the center to the left side, I guess that's why they weren't able to inflict that much damage. The howitzers? I guess these guns that did 0 damage is probably the guns that didn't take part in the battle. The units that never came into battle. So who did the least? There's a Highlander infantry did the 5 the mountain guns up in the hills, in the mountains as they're supposed to be, did 20 man each. Queen's Lancers did pretty poorly, some of the King's Own, but they were sent in pretty late. howitzers kill about 200 men each. So not that impressive on their side. Let's see. So they're pulling back. We're gonna make sure then that we don't let any units get destroyed in the continuation or follow-up of the battle. So this army was the one that that did the least of the fighting, and this one is the one that can continue forwards. What I want to do is I still want to get the bonus of having like the general present. So we're gonna move these guys back, and we're gonna move the really damaged units back. Rifles have a tendency to die when you auto-assault, so I'm gonna send them back. And then we're gonna just advance here. And we're gonna let Alcock attack this army, which just push them back. He has very little chance on his own, but if he gets support by the 3 other armies, let's see if we can strike this one on its own. And we can. Pretty good result, but there's a big chance here that we lose unit given the strength, which would be very unnecessary. So I'm just gonna auto-assault and cheat here a bit. So we lost a cavalry unit. It wasn't actually that bad. I can replace those guys. But we more or less crushed the remainder of the army, and now it's a lot easier attacking the fort. Same here though, there's a risk of us losing the units. I think I'm gonna play this. I think given the time here, this is gonna be it for this episode. I'm actually gonna have to check quickly, but I think so. And I don't see any good battles coming on soon here. It's mostly outer assaults going through here, and we'll see. I'll come back to you with the next episode, in which we hopefully have found another large army of the Sasayamas, because they have a lot of troops. We can just, yeah, there's another full stack. There's full stacks all over the place. So the Sasayamas will definitely be able to bring up another 15,000. We'll have another big epic battle. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!